Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Maple Table. My name's Nathaniel. Today we're going to be talking about Starfinder. So this is a game from Paizo Studios, and they do Pathfinder, Starfinder, and my gaming group that I play with. I don't DM this group, but I play with this group. We've been playing this for the last couple of months, and I've really been enjoying this system. It's been a lot of fun. It's kind of like Pathfinder in space, which is basically what this is. First things to go over with this is this particular book. This is the core rule book. This is a special edition release that Paizo did. It's leather bound. It's got some very nice embossing on the front and on the sides here as well. One thing to note about this book, and one that I really love, if you've got the money to spend on it, when it opens, it is designed to open flat. So it's not going to crack the pages or anything. It's designed to be open and be used. And I found that with the base core book, the base version, it doesn't do this as nicely. I've found the spines tend to split on that one. So I've really been enjoying this book, and it's been worth all of the lots of money I had to pay for it. But it's nice. I like it. So Starfinder, think of it as kind of Pathfinder, but several thousand years into the future of the Pathfinder universe. So all the old gods, continue to exist. They have some new names in this book now, but they do exist, and they do still give powers to certain classes. And so that idea is actually kind of neat, where they can be kind of proven. And moving into the futuristic setting, you have your mix of sci-fi and fantasy, and it all kind of meshes really well together, and I've really been enjoying that. As far as playable races go, there's just too many for me to list. At the time of this recording, there are 3 alien archives, so read monster manuals. So there's a ton of options for players. So if you do have to buy those separately, the core rulebook does come with 7 playable races, just to begin with and get you started. Next up is the setting. So let's talk a little bit about the history of the universe of Starfinder. So as far as the history goes, it's actually quite scattered for most of the races. No one knows exactly what happened, but basically there was a period of time where everybody just kind of lost history. Nobody knows what happened. It's just gone, and that's what everyone refers to as the gap. Now, some civilizations, what's interesting to note is that it's not a fixed point event. Some civilizations, their history goes back a little bit longer than others. So while one race might have records going back up to 310 years, another race might only have records for up to 275 years. And basically what ended up happening is everybody just kind of forgot. If you were, for example, with your spouse, you might know all the little details about them and what makes them tick, what makes them happy, what makes them irritated, why, but you wouldn't know why you were with them, because that part of it is just gone. So what ended up happening after this event called the Gap is everybody, all the races, suddenly had the ability to do interstellar travel through a kind of a dimension that they now could access called the drift. And so it allowed exploration and moving through space, and just general spacefaring, traveling great distances in very short periods of time. Another thing that happened is there was a world called Galorian, and this is thought to be the starting place, the birthplace of dwarves, elves, gnomes, humans, and it just kind of disappeared right along the time of the gap happening. Many people seem to assume that whatever happened to Galorian caused the gap, but no one really knows for sure. Once interstellar travel was kind of commonplace, there was a race called the Vesk. They are in the core rulebook here. They had basically invaded and conquered all the planets in their existing solar system, and so they've decided to came into what's called core worlds, and the core worlds formed an alliance, and they called them the Pact Worlds. So the Vesk decided that they wanted to have all of that, so they were starting a war and came in to conquer the came in to conquer the Pact Worlds. They didn't take too kindly to this and put up a good resistance, but while they were doing this, a new threat appeared called the Swarm, and this was actually affecting both sides. And the Swarm was a big enough threat that the Vesk and their Veskarium, as they call the whole empire, the Veskarium and the Pact Worlds formed an alliance, a peace treaty. It's very tenuous and it is very fragile, but at the moment it is working, and it is sort of been running for the last about 30-ish years of the game's setting. So they have been at peace for the last 30-ish years while both sides try to keep the Swarm, as it were, at bay. So next, I would like to talk a little bit about the rules system. It is a bit of a heavier rule system. It's not as crunchy as some of the other games I've played. Shadowrun, looking at you. I like to think of this as kind of a 3.5 edition in space, and I'm really been enjoying this. Once you can figure out the flow and get some of the basics down, it does allow for extremely tactical combat, and that's something that I haven't really had a chance to do. A lot of the systems I've been playing with lately have been quite narrative focused, so it hasn't been very tactical. And while this is a big shift for me, I'm really, really enjoying it. There's also special rules for starship combat. These were also a little bit more complicated to get an understanding of. Once our group kind of understood how it worked, though, it created more options for tactical combat through space and spaceships and diverting shields and gunnery steps and having your pilot do fancy maneuvers to avoid getting shot. It's all really quite interesting and a bit of a unique systems from what I have seen, and I've really been enjoying coming to grips with it and just seeing how it operates. And again, while some of it is a little clunky, it has been a lot of fun. So as far as player options go, there's actually quite a bit to choose from. So while there is 7 races, there are also 7 classes at the time of this recording. The Envoy, Mechanic, Mystic, Operative, Solarian, Soldier, Technomancer. There are 3 additional classes that are coming with the Player's Operations Manual, and that's coming out in a week from, basically, not quite a week from today, November 29th, that is being released to the general public. But that will add 3 more classes, and once I have my hands on that book, I would also like to arrange that. But at this moment, I do not have it. Once you have picked your class, there are themes you can then pick for that class. Those themes will dictate some of your special skills, feats, weapon proficiencies, things like that. It's a little bit more flavor, I find, to the characters, so it just sort of it expands and diversifies what your character can do. Overall, the game has a very good feel, and I've been very much enjoying my time with this system. I would give it a 5 out of 5 stars, just because I've been enjoying it that much. A couple of things I will note with this, and it's a relatively new system, only within the last couple of years it's come out. There are so many items and there are so many rules that come out with each new installment and each new book that come out. And currently there is no official compendium or like a pocket book, a pocket rule book to keep all of the new information that keeps coming out into one place. If that was something that was available, I would buy one. And as I have read online, many of you would also be buying them as well. So, Paizo, get on it. While we're talking about organizing things into one place, having maybe a book of items. I know that there's the armory, which adds all sorts of different weapons, magic items, armor, anything that you might need to run the game. If there was maybe a compendium of all of those, because even in each of the Alien archives, there is different items that come within each of those books as well. Usually it's made out of some form of the alien or the monster that you get to see. There's some weapon or ammo type or something that's made out of generally the monster that's in that book. And so having a spot to put all of those in together would be actually really nice. So that has been my review of Starfinder. I've really been enjoying my time with this system, and I'm hoping to get to run this with my own gaming group as the GM instead of just the player. Overall, hope to continue to bring on some more videos for you guys. I'm going to do, I would like to cover some more of the races and talk a little bit about some of their history, as I've been doing with like I've been doing is the tribe videos for my Werewolf the Apocalypse series. So if you found any of this useful, informative, you've just enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, really helps the channel out. And thanks for stopping by.